Welcome. You're tuning in to the Women's Bar Association of Illinois cable show. I'm Judge Patrice Ball-Reed, past president of the Women's Bar, and my co-host is Judge Jessica Orang O'Brien, the present president of the Women's Bar Association. Our guest today is Judge Bauer. I'm going to give some background about what he's been doing over his 89 colorful years, and then Judge O'Brien is going to begin the questioning with regard to his overall illustrious and colorful career. Judge Bauer was the former Chief Judge of the 7th Circuit of Illinois Court of Appeals. He began his college career at Elmhurst College, and then he attended DePaul University School of Law. He also served in the Army prior to attending school. After attending college and law school, he then started his law career. He began his law career as an assistant state's attorney in DuPage County, and then he was the first assistant and then subsequently the state's attorney of DuPage. He has also served as the United States District of Illinois Attorney General. No, it's not. It's the U.S.
United States Attorney General,
Northern District of Illinois. And he began his judicial career as a judge in DuPage County. Thereafter, he became a judge in the the District Court of Illinois. And then during his 20-year service as a justice on the Circuit Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit. I am so sorry, Judge. I guess I'm excited and nervous. Yeah, I apologize. He served there 20 years, and during that time, he was Chief Judge. So enough of his background, and Judge O'Brien is going to do some interviewing of him at this point in time. Thank you for coming. And
let me make 2 or 3 modest corrections.
Yes, sir.
I've been on this court 41 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay. In Illinois.
7 of those I was chief.
Okay.
But it is the 7th Circuit, it's not Illinois, it's Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin.
Okay, so it covers those, that's the circuit. Right. Okay. Thank you for that correction. Right. I appreciate it.
Judge, you've had an amazing, amazing life. And
I have.
Career you have. And so I'm going to move backwards.
Do it.
But the first thing I want to say is, what is the secret? What is the secret to life?
You mean old age?
Well, not old age, it's just...
I don't know if there's any secret to life except getting born. And after that, genetically is what creates the problem, or the good luck. My mother lived to be 97, so I was genetically cut out to be old. I didn't look forward to it, but it snuck up on me.
But everything that you've done in your life, you have exceeded expectations, you have excelled. You were, first of all, when you were working as an assistant state's attorney in DuPage County, then you moved up to be the state's attorney.
Right.
How did that happen?
I got elected. I had an opponent both in the primary and the general election, but I got elected. How did I get it there? People voted for me.
So, but being assistant state's attorney, and talked to you before we were online, you said that was your best job ever.
That was my favorite job because I got to try cases one after another. Every prosecuting office almost every is overworked and undermanned and got too much to do, and so they're looking for somebody who really likes to do it and keeps at it. So I had so much fun in the court. I was surprised they paid me. If I could afford it, I would have paid them. But.
Was there a case that you remember to this day when you were as an assistant state's attorney?
A key what?
A case that you remember prosecuting?
I can remember. I bet I could remember all of them if I give it some thought. But is there any that stuck out? No, a couple of them. The first felony case they tried and the first murder case they tried, sure, I remember those. I could tell you who testified.
Oh my goodness.
We have to have a reasonably good memory to do this job, particularly to be a Court of Appeals judge. Because you have to read and remember, and you have to remember when you're trying a case, you have to remember what happened 4 days ago, 4 weeks ago.
Now, when you were the DuPage state's attorney,
right.
Was there something about that position that you recall that you'd like to share with us? It's mostly administrative, and also you were trying cases.
No. It's an administrator. You're thinking of Cook County, where they
Not DuPage.
DuPage County. Yes, you could be an administrator. There are people that held a job. I held a job. I had a first assistant who was a former law classmate of mine, and he could do the administration, stand on his hands while I tried. But all the major cases I tried myself. For 7 years, nobody tried a murder case except me. And this is a heater case, I tried it. It wasn't that there weren't people in the office that could try cases, it's just that I thought it was...
You loved it.
I loved it, and I didn't think they were better than I was. I really didn't think they were as good as I was, but I never told them that.
See, from just your comments, I have gathered two possible secrets to life,
What's
or
that?
at least with your career. One is you have to love it,
Right?
Okay.
and the second part is you have to always be the best in whatever you do, better than anybody else.
I think that is a noble ambition. That's what I want. And yes, I admit that I wanted to be the best at what I was doing.
Now, did you always want to be a federal judge?
Oh no, I didn't always want to be a judge. I wanted to be a lawyer from the time I was 11. But it seemed to me that the guy who's having all the fun were the lawyers, not the judge. He just sat there and said, sustained, overruled, and things like that.
So at 11, what prompted you to want to be an attorney?
I grew up, if you think about it, during the Depression. I was born in 1926. So that it's 1936, and Roosevelt was getting elected the second time. I was 10 years old.
Sure.
We did not have television. We didn't have things like that. But we did have movies. And for 10 cents on Saturday, you go to a movie, and sometimes they had triple features. And some of those movies showed lawyers in courtroom scenes. And after several months of that, I just figured out that they were well-dressed, they were treated well, they spoke well, and as near as I could tell, they didn't do anything. They talked, and I said, I could do that. I could do that.
Okay.
And they didn't produce anything. They weren't expected to produce anything.
It sounded like a good job, didn't
It
it?
sounded like a great job.
Okay.
And
Well,
it is.
Okay, very good. We're going to take a break right now, Judge Bauer, and we're going to begin again with Jessica asking you some more questions.
When it comes to saving money,
What?
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting. This is so humiliating.
Be the boss
I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap. You were saying.
and make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read. What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
at feedthepig.org.
Well, we've been talking with Judge Bauer and hearing some interesting things about his life and why he wanted to be a lawyer. So now we're going to go into how his career has expanded and evolved over the years, and Judge O'Brien is going to ask him some questions about that.
Before we dive into your judicial career, Judge, I wanted to ask you about how you think the legal profession has changed since you were an assistant state's attorney.
Well, let's start with the numbers. When I first became a lawyer in 1951, there were about 15,500 lawyers in the state of Illinois. I think there are 97,000 the last time we counted. The population of the state has increased by about 1 million, but the population of lawyers has gone from 15,000 to 97,000. So it's spread out. Law has become international. There was probably one law firm in Chicago, in Illinois, that had foreign offices. I'll bet you now there are 50 law firms which have offices in other countries, which means international law is involved in the thing. And it's gotten more complicated. Business law itself has gotten more complicated. Criminal law has gotten more complicated. Life is no longer as simple as it was. The advances in education, in the media, the advances in transportation, you can now fly in 4 hours what it took 6 days to do in the old days. And so when I started, there were no international. The first flight that went from Chicago to Europe was in 1960. By that time, I had been a lawyer for 9 years. So it's.
Do you think that more women have more opportunities now?
Oh, there were so few women in the legal profession when I started that you didn't even pay any attention to it. There were 2 in the law school, in my class in law school. 1 finished with us. The last several times I've addressed a law school graduation class, the women predominate. There are more women didn't get seriously involved in practicing law until I had been practicing law for about 10 or 15 years. And now they're virtually, you wouldn't, I was on the court I'm on now, and as I say, it went on 41 years ago. There were no women on there. There had never been a woman on it. Now there are 4 out of
It's amazing.
theoretically 11, but there's 4 out of 9.
So now let's look into your judicial career.
Yeah.
You've had an amazing one. When you were appointed to the United States Northern District Court, how did that come about?
Well, I had been after I was a state's attorney, I was elected a judge in DuPage County. There was a vacancy that occurred in the office of U.S. Attorney occasioned by the fact they changed presidents. Nixon got elected president.
Okay.
And Tom Foreign was trying a conspiracy 7 case. To those of you who don't know what it is, it was a very important case involving the 1968 Democratic Convention and the riots that ensued. And they needed somebody to replace Tom Foreign. And the 2 senators and the Attorney General and the Governor of Illinois asked me to resign from the bench and take the job. And I thought,
Did you hesitate?
no, it sounded like a very, very interesting thing to do. So, yeah, the alternative was I was going to run for the Supreme Court of Illinois, so but I preferred being a trial guy, so I went back to being a lawyer.
I was actually thinking about
Right then,
when I
right.
was reviewing
Sure.
your resume. I said, I wonder if you thought about running for the Supreme Court.
I thought about running for the Supreme Court because that was the first chance anybody even knew Page ever had a chance.
Okay.
The Supreme Court in those days, of the 7 people, almost all of them were from downstate. Cook County had only 1 of the 7. But he also, they shared that with DuPage, Lake, Will, and Kankakee counties. 1 Supreme Court judge. So nobody from any place except Cook County is ever going to get elected
Oh,
from that.
sure. Okay.
Then there was a big shake-up Supreme Court. They realigned it. Cook County got 3. Everybody else, but DuPage now has its own, is in a 13-county district that can elect its own Supreme Court justice. And it has.
That's sure.
And that's
So, as U.S. Attorney, what case stands out in your mind? 'Cause I know you like to try cases, so I'm sure you tried some during your tenure there.
this. Let me pause and say, Foreign's last year in office was he spent almost entirely trying that case himself, the conspiracy.
Right.
It started in September and finished in April. Give you an idea.
Wow.
Christmas, New Year's, everything. He's trying the case. He told me it was like going for dental surgery every day. But that meant there was a pileup of work in the office. The office moved from 32 authorized assistants to 72 while I was there, with 5 in the pipeline. And I hired Jim Thompson as my first assistant. But the idea that he would replace me as U.S. Attorney because they wanted me to go back on the bench, and I had no objection to it. So 1 case doesn't stand out. We went from 700 or 600 indictments to 1,200 indictments in 1 year.
Oh my, that's
So
a big
that-
change.
Yeah, and we,
It's a lot of cases to try.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
You were having the time of your life because you love trying cases.
yeah, well, but plus the fact that I was in being able to hire great lawyers, Dan Webb, Tony Valukas,
Oh my.
These are
Ty
lawyers
Fainer.
that-
What?
Oh, so you were a great mentor?
I hoped I was, yes. They say I was, so I'll accept
You
that.
agree with them? Okay, Judge, we're going to take another break now, and we're going to, the next section, we are going to ask you some more questions, and you're going to tell us the secret of life.
Boy, you're going to It's a blank. If I knew the secret of life, I wouldn't be telling it here, I'd be selling it.
Thank you, Judge.
Sitting in a mountain saying, come on up and ask me.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to the show. We're still interviewing Judge Bauer. He's been so fantastic. It's been exciting learning all these things about him. And so we're going to have Judge O'Brien ask him some more questions.
Judge, are you going to share the secrets of life yet?
No, I have no secrets to share.
I'm wondering who your mentors were.
Well, who I hired over the years, for instance, I've hired 100 law clerks since I've been on the federal bench. And I fired something like 65 assistant U.S. attorneys. I hired probably 25 assistant state's attorneys. And I've worked with all of them all these years. And they're all still friends, by the way, except those that went back on the bench. Some became, my first assistant became the 4-term governor of Illinois, Jim Thompson.
Did you fire him? Or
pardon?
you didn't fire him, right? No. He wasn't part of the fire list.
He replaced me as state's U.S. attorney
Okay.
on November 29th, 1971. I became a district court judge the same day. I had to go first because he had to follow me. There was no vacancy until I took the oath.
You have an amazing memory.
Yes. And so then he took over and he was replaced by Sam Skinner, who was a guy who worked for me. And he was replaced by Tom Sullivan because they changed presidents. And when you change presidents, you change the U.S. attorneys, normally. Not always, but normally. So there you are.
Judge, what would, if you have any advice for women lawyers, this is obviously the Women's Bar Association of Illinois' cable show, what advice would you give somebody who wants to be a lawyer someday?
Women are as good lawyers as men ever were, and they can be as good as any lawyer I ever met, and they are. They needn't think they have to prove anything, they've already proved it. They're dominating the profession at the moment.
But the statistics are still pretty low when it comes to women litigators, partners in law firms.
Well, it depends on the statistics you're reading. It takes a while to get to be a good litigator. One of the great lines was, how do you learn to be a good lawyer? And that's by being a bad lawyer. You learn by experience. But you can become a great cross-examiner, according to the people who understand this, if you do it a lot. Most people don't understand the art of trying a case until they do it. You have to keep doing it. It's like playing the violin. You can't just decide you want to be a violinist and pick up a violin and play it. You have to practice and practice and practice. Men have to do it, women have to do it. The point is, men were less nervous about it than women because there were so few women in it originally. They created an atmosphere of fear. The alternative is to be mean like some men are. But men do that too. If you run into a bully lawyer or a bully judge, it's somebody who's insecure. He's trying to prove he knows what he's doing, and so he bullies his way in. Women have a harder time acting as bullies than men do because they are by nature less bullying. And
So is that the secret? Be a bully?
no, the secret is to get confident.
Confidence.
Confidence
yes.
in yourself.
Being empowered.
And yes.
And know that you can do it.
Yeah, to know you can. You don't have to prove it, you can do it.
You're talking about violin, so you have a few hobbies. You play the harmonica, you play the violin. What else do you play?
Games like this.
It's so much fun.
I was a school teacher. I taught law for adjunct at DePaul for 19 years, at Northwestern for a couple of semesters. Well, I taught trial work, and I do a lot of Socratic dialogue. You might check on that over the years. I've done it on putting somebody up and proposing a question and working with it. Pre-press fair trial. Whether we should get rid of capital punishment. That was one of the great topics. So a lot of things that you can do to get 15 or 16 experts in the field and ask them questions and to make things go to the end, carry their ideas as far as they will go. We were talking the other day about taking an absolute position. Law has very few absolute positions. You ask somebody, would you kill somebody to stop a crime? And would you say you don't think the state ought to kill somebody to commit a crime? Do you remember when Dukakis was debating and he was asked, when he was running for, what would you do if you found somebody attacking your wife and you had a chance to kill him? And he said he'd call the police. The real answer is you'd shoot him if you could. You'd kill him. You'd do it.
You think he would have won the election if he answered that way?
Well, he certainly wouldn't have lost as badly as he
Right.
did. He comes out looking, that's a silly answer. You don't know how you're going to react until it really happens. But the fact of the matter, if somebody attacks my child or my wife or somebody close to me, they don't have to worry whether I'm going to kill them or not. I go if I can, because I'm going to stop what they're doing at whatever cost it is.
Talking about winning, you have won the battle of cancer as well, which is...
Cancer?
Is that what you had told me?
I had cancer. Yeah,
And
the
you
lungs.
beat that. And we talked about this, and is why you have your bedroom voice now.
It's nice of you to call it a bedroom voice. It's a rasp. It's like a file on glass.
Well, Judge Bauer, we're going to wrap up, but my last question to you is, okay, our theme for the year is empowering through leadership. You've been a leader in so many avenues. What are your ideas about leadership that we can give to the audience?
What you have to do is trust other people. It took me a long time when I was first assistant to delegate authority. I thought I could do it better than they could. When I became state's attorney, it occurred to me someplace that if I could really do it better than they could, and I could do it all by myself, why did I hire them? Why were they there? So I'd find the best I could, tell them what I wanted, and watch them do it, and stay out of their way. You have to trust other people's ability to do it. You can't micromanage. So the way to be a leader is to ask them, be a follower, ask with them. We're in this together. And I never met anybody who couldn't do something better than I could. So you have to listen to people, and you find out, and you learn things, and you get better at it. But you have to admit that they know more than you do on this subject or that subject.
Last question, last and final question. If you were to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Probably more of it. One of the great books written a long time ago was the guy who said, what should he have done if he should have kissed her more? Love her better, do the best you can, but keep at it. Be closer to your friends. Never forget a friend. Never make an enemy you don't have to. And just enjoy life. It's a very enjoyable thing.
Thank you, Judge Bauer. It's been a pleasure to speak with you today, sir. We
Thank you
truly
so much for
appreciate
your
you coming
time.
out to talk with us. Yes, you've been tuned in to the Women's Bar Association of Illinois Cable Show. Our guest today was Judge Bauer. He's given us some great tidbits about what to do with life and how to enjoy it, and we truly appreciate it at his 89 colorful years and looking forward to 90. Thank you so much.